Hello, this is the Live Wild podcast and I'm your host, Hilary Rose. I'm super excited about this episode because I get to chat to my pal, my colleague, possibly one of the biggest Irish comics to come out of this country. It is Jason Byrne.
And my dad's standing there with a fag in his mouth. So my dad hated any neighbours, like he didn't have anything to do with them. And he's like going, he looks at her and she's going, you're Jason Byrne's father? And my dad's going, yep. Like this is staring at her. And she's going, he keeps calling my son me hole, right? And my dad is just standing there trying not to laugh and he's going, does he? What's he call him again? And you get making her say it. And she's going, me hole. He goes, okay, but don't you worry, I'll go in and make sure that Jason does not call your son me hole anymore, right? And the kid, off they went, you know. And my dad just came in, he was kind of laughing, and then he turned straight in his face and he went, don't be calling that kid me hole anymore. He goes, it's funny, but don't fucking do that again, right? And so that was it. My dad would never, and he never told my mum anything. My other dad's lovely mantra, and this is a great thing for everybody, never tell anybody anything they don't need to know. Do you know what I mean?
Wow. What can I say about this man? He is just so kind, so sweet, so funny, gifted, and so hardworking. We chat about life, we chat about parenting, we chat about comedy, and we chat about this lovely connection that he has with his fans and how loyal they are. It's a gorgeous chat. You're gonna love it. Stay tuned.
Anyway, sorry, how are you? Look, listen, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm okay, yeah. Every day, Hilary, I realise why I do stand up. You know what I mean?
Why?
I'm never going to be able to give it up.
Why?
Because everything just follows me around. Just mayhem. You know what I mean? The audience that come to my shows are all very special now. They just, I have the nicest, and so nobody heckles me. So
because you're way too well able for them. That's why.
Yeah, but they don't heckle me. Is that we have now sussed out over halfway through my tour, is that they tell me things. They like put their hand up and they go, Jason. I don't want. I just want to go and just tell me something that happened to them the day before, or something's going on with their family, or whatever. And oh my god, and their children. And we did guess. Look, I don't recommend anybody going to my gigs. Like, children shouldn't be at stand up anyway, because it's an adult conversation, even if it is Peter Kay or Jason Manford, whatever. And somebody tweeted, I brought my children to see Jason. I have a special song that I sing for mental health now in my audience. It's Tales of the Unexpected. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Which is bling, 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 bling. And if you have a look at my Instagram, you'll see 900 of them in Belfast just standing up, swaying back and forth with their hands in their air. Yeah, but the lyrics are the C word. So it's for basically everybody or anything that you hate in your life, government, your garden, somebody you work with, and they're all singing their heart out. So yes, a lady did tweet saying, I was at a show with my 13-year-old and she sang the C song all the way home in the car.
Oh my word.
So anyway, good for therapy. I
was going to say, maybe you've got this niche thing going on. You're like a comedian therapist.
I think I might be.
Yeah.
I think I might be. Like I don't even know if we've started your podcast, but it looks like we have.
Well, we're in it now.
But listen, I had this lovely woman. I haven't been to Nottingham this year yet. I'm going now next 2 weeks, and this woman stood up, about 15 minutes to the end. No, sorry, no, this is what it was. She stood up. No, let me get this right. Now I got it right. Sorry, this was a year ago. She put her hand up, and I said, "Oh, are you okay?" And she goes, "Yeah, I'm here on my own." And I went, "Oh, okay, that's all right." I says, "You okay?" And she goes, "Yeah, I'm here on my own because my husband did the dirt on me. He was supposed to come at me, and I just thought I'd come anyway, the bastard, right?"
Oh my!
In front of the audience.
Wow.
And I'm going, "Oh God, you okay?" And she goes, "Yeah." Anyway, I ended up getting a couple beside her, just two women, to mind her at the break. I says, "Will you look after her at the break?" I went, yeah.
Oh.
So then she, at the end of the show, she left 15 minutes early because she says the car's in the car park and she had to go and just leave. I said, "So you okay?" She goes, "Yeah, I'm grand." I says, "How do we know you got home okay?" You know, because she was in the middle of trauma in her head.
Yeah.
And then the older women beside her said, "Oh, we have her number."
Oh, cute.
And so, just as the gig was about to end, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They said, "Oh, we got a text saying that she's in the car and safely driving home." So my audience, I'm like going, I have enough trauma in my life.
Yeah.
And I'm there going, anybody else want in? I'm like, oh, while you're there, Jason.
Yeah.
But so the likes of Huddersfield, Peter Kay came to see me in Huddersfield. Do you remember Peter?
Yeah.
I haven't seen Peter in years.
Yeah, wow, yeah.
And he just couldn't believe what he was watching because he goes, I don't know where your show starts or ends, or if stories are made up or written or what. He goes, I couldn't find the seam. He kept trying to find the seam.
Yeah, he's like, where's the gag in this? Like,
yeah. So I mix the stand up into what's happening in the room all the time. I can do that. But in Huddersfield, he couldn't believe my regulars, right? So there's 400 of them. There's probably 10 that haven't been before. Yeah. This is like serious. And there's a guy in the front. He always Jeff. He's the bus man. He always sits in the front. And he was promoted this year from the number 68 bus to a private coach. Oh. So the crowd are all clapping him. And then there's a guy who sits up in the top balcony. He's been going since he's about 15. And this year he couldn't make it because he's in university. So his family had a cardboard cutout of him.
Oh, stop.
Yeah.
That is amazing. It's actually amazing though, isn't it? Like, it feels like you have like a proper community.
Yeah,
that follow you and that are very loyal. Like, that's a wonderful thing to have.
Yeah, because whatever, I'm 51 and I've had the stents and I've had the health and all the mayhem. I was going, and then I have to travel around Britain because sometimes we're driving 4 hours, 5 hours. Like, it's nothing to them. Like, my mate was going, he was dropping me off the airport, my tour manager, and he was doing a 7-hour drive back to London.
Wow.
From Newcastle or something. And I was going, what? So that's nearly the length of Ireland.
Yeah, that's a whole day's work. Like,
he's going, what? And he's going, oh yeah, it'd be okay. But the audience when I get to them, because that's what I was saying, I was going, I hate the traveling. Because at this age, I don't know, but I like to stay at home.
Yeah.
I like being home. I like doing what we're doing now. Yeah. This is brilliant. But the audience, like, they're so nice, like, they're so brilliant and welcoming and, and they never give me a hard time.
That's awesome.
They always look at me and go, you can feel them going, it's okay, Jason, you go ahead there and you say whatever you want. And we're just glad to be out and sitting with you. Because they just want to see the madness unfold. It's
awesome. It's such a lovely feeling, or it must be such a lovely feeling. Yeah. The book. It is.
Oh, my book. Oh, yeah,
Wow.
Yeah, it's good. It's a great book, you know what I mean?
It's a great book, Jason. It's so gorgeous. It's called Memoirs of a Wonky-Eyed Man, The Dad Knows Best Years by Jason Byrne. It's such a gorgeous homage to your dad. Like, isn't it fab? I'd say I got to page 2 and I was feeling very wobbly. I was like, he's done it already. He's made me weepy already.
Yeah, no, my dad, well, first of all, just to give the background, it was The Wonky-Eyed Boy was the first book of that. And my dad because I was writing about growing up in Dublin till the age of 15. And my dad just appeared a lot in it without me even knowing that he was like there all the time, really. And just involved in all sorts of hilarious shit. And so when we had the book signing for that, my dad ended up signing a load of books.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
But they were all going, it's brilliant, isn't he? He was going, yeah, it's very good, very good. He never read it. He never read a book in his life. Like, he was always only ever would read the papers, do the crosswords, watch the news, but he wouldn't read a book. No way. Wow. I says, did you read that? And he goes, oh yeah. Oh, it's very good news. So I left him. So the guys asked me, would you do a sequel to it, The Wonky-Eyed Man? I went, yeah, okay, sure. So it's from then all the way till now. The careers, me dad and everything.
It's so incredible. There's one bit, I know, I have it highlighted.
God, Jesus Christ, Hilary.
I wrecked your book. I highlighted
it.
Don't. I love this. So you're talking about your dad. This is what your dad says. So you were saying that you were a worrier. And he'd say, if you worry, you die. If you don't worry, you die anyway. So why worry?
It's like, he was full of stuff like that, you know. Oh, and he always said he had written them. Everything he'd say, I wrote that. Oh, that's mine. I go, no, it isn't. Do you know what I mean? Like, and he used to say that a lot of slang words in Dublin. And he'd go, oh, sure, I used to make up slang words in a pub, and then I'd hear them on the streets like 20 years later. They're mine.
Like he invented them.
It's going, that's not true. Like, it's brilliant. They're full of shit, but full of fun shit.
Yeah.
You know, and his, look, I was always trying to find, because I did a play about him as well called the Paddy Lama Shed Talks.
Yes.
So we did that, and the book came out at the same time. So this weird synergy happened, and the two of them were just coming together. And I suppose I wrote the play because I was trying to work out what my dad was trying to tell everybody. Do you know what I mean? He never really, I don't think he ever really knew what he was doing, but he was, the message that my dad had was that, you know, was that if you worry you die, if you don't worry you die anyway, so why worry? And like, he just sat there looking at everyone. I often said this to my dad, if he was in the pub and it started to go on fire, he'd finish his pint. That's what he was like. And everybody else would be running around like the Muppets with their heads and their arms flaring, and he'd just go, oh, well, you're not going to gain anything by running out of here. He'd walk out with a bit of a flame on his back that somebody would put out. And you'd be like, yeah, well. It's
a very, it's almost like a very Buddhist way to live. It's a very Zen way to live, to just have that kind of like, well, you know, sure, fuck it. It's that kind of mentality, you know. It's really old school, like.
The old school way, I would say, is I would go 80% right and 20% not right, because, well, maybe those percentages aren't right, but of course a lot of stuff they did was very wrong, you know, ignoring a lot of things. But like, you'll hear loads of, you know, gurus and Buddha and all going on about that flow thing. Yeah. Going with the flow. Yeah. That's all they ever did.
That's it.
They never pushed back against it. And I mean, you know, the odd protest maybe, bit of an old strike now and again. Yeah. But otherwise they were only doing that because everybody else was.
Yeah, they're like, sure, look, we'll join you.
Yeah, so you know, the dad would come in, and like even his health or anything like that, I remember him getting his pacemaker, and he was just going, oh, I'm just popping into hospital. Like he said it on the day. I was like, where are you going? Oh, I'm just going to get a pacemaker. She'll be back out in a few days. It's just like, no, help me. I want to have a talk.
Yeah, Jesus. Yeah. They bottled, I mean, that's the part that wasn't right. They bottled up a lot. Like my dad was always a case of, he was a very cool customer as well. And he'd always say, Hilary, what'll be will be, you know. It was just, he was just very succinct and very stoic in a sense. Do you know? Well, yeah. Which I like.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a it's almost like what I was saying, like we're kind of overdoing it now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I often think this, I don't even know how, I mean, maybe you can even help me explain it even better, is that a long time ago, there was a king or a queen or a king and a queen, and there was the peasants and the people, and they did what they did, and the king and the queen did what they did, right? But now everybody is the king and the queen. Everybody runs the world now, which just doesn't work. Do you know what I mean? It's like going into a company, I suppose, and there's 60 people there and they're all the boss. Can you imagine that? Yeah. It's like, how the hell are we trying to cope? We're trying to cope with, look, yes, a lot of the bosses, the kings and queens would kill you and chop your head off if they didn't like you.
Yeah.
You know, that's the wrong bit. But now there's just, even if we post anything on you know, social media, there's people just straight on, like, you know, straight away, and they just want to kill you.
This is what's interesting. Do you think that comedy is kind of being hijacked in a sense by maybe a wokest generation? You know, because when you talk about the king and the queen, okay, you had the king and the queen, and you had the courtiers or whatever else, but you also had the jester.
Yeah.
And the jester's job was to gently or outrageously poke fun at the king and the queen or society or culture as a whole. To say, it was an observational thing to say, this isn't right. This isn't working. Yeah. But now it feels like the jesters are being shut down and they're not allowed to say what their observations are. And I struggle with that. I don't think that's right.
No, it's not right. And well, one thing as well, the jesters were brave though in those days. Because that king, if he was in a bad mood, next week there'll be a new jester straight away. Jason Byrne will not be playing next week due to a beheading.
A beheading, yeah.
So we're being beheaded. But I'll tell you one thing, obviously living in the stand-up world all the time and knowing a lot of the other comics, male and female, is that, and I feel my audience, who can be, as you've seen, as I told you, I have 13-year-olds all the way up to 90-year-olds, whatever, at my audience. In the whole lot, families come and everything. But they are definitely fed up now with not being able to say what you want to say, because they want to do the same thing and they filter through stuff. They want us to say stuff that they can't say. Do you know what I mean? So like the likes of comedians now that have kind of, you know, okay, so it's kind of unfair. There's huge comics you can't cancel. They're too big and they are literally minted. You know what I mean? Like Ricky Gervais, for example.
Oh, jeez, yeah. Case in point.
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
What are you going to do? You're going to cancel Ricky. Ricky's just laughing at you. The minute you go ahead, he puts on another 5 gigs in Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
So you can, him, right, Ricky, Bill Burr, like all those guys have now they're just saying whatever the fuck they want. They're saying whatever they want and people are going, yeah, okay. But my argument is, so people say that to me, can you say what you want? And I'll go, but I was never a controversial comedian anyway. I didn't go out like Frankie Boyle and start purposely upsetting people. Yeah. But I can feel my audience poke me all the time, going, go on, say it. And I do stuff, you know, the stuff I do is, look, it's not going to upset anybody really. Do you know what I mean? But you shouldn't be able to say anything you want. Like I would never point at someone in the front row and talk about their appearance or how they look.
Okay, so this was a question
I wouldn't do.
Yeah, so that was a question I was going to ask you. What's out of bounds for you? Like, are there certain topics that are out of bounds? And like you said, you're not, like, you don't see yourself as controversial, but like, is there certain stuff you just wouldn't go near?
Yeah, I mean, there is. I don't like upsetting. I mean, I am quite an, you know, I'm just a nice human, I suppose. A lot
you
of the time.
are, and I testify to that. Yeah.
And I don't like upsetting people. Do you know what I mean? And I want people to go to my show and have fun. But at the same time, I don't mind prodding, you know, at like the Catholic Church, for example. Do you know what I mean? Because I am a Catholic. It's kind of fair game for me. And people, if I ever post them with the Catholics or messing up about priests or whatever, they'll go, oh, you wouldn't do that as a Muslim. And then once I answered, they went, yeah, but they didn't fuck kids. Do you know what I mean? So
that's a succinct comeback.
And you'll see everybody just liking it, going, yeah, they didn't, they don't, and they go, maybe they did. But like, you know, so you can do stuff like that. There's areas you can definitely go into. You know, people who are obviously just nasty people, you can go at them that are famous or whatever. But yeah, no, I don't preach about stuff that I don't know about enough. Do you know what I mean? And a lot of people will just be ranting at stuff and they're not qualified in that area to be really doing that. You know, like, so there's lots of gay comics that we know and they are filthy, right? And they will go hell for leather about gays and lesbians and everything. You want to see them. And they're like knocking the gays and knocking but this is what we always said, and like loads of us always said this, if you are the person or the thing or the race, then you're allowed. I can go on stage and I can slag off Paddy Wackeries, Irish.
Yes.
What do we like? But if an English comic came on after me
and did that,
they'd be like, you didn't offer. Yeah. Like, isn't it mad? Literally straight after I do, let me like an experiment. If I went on before Reginald D. Hunter and did black jokes and Reg goes on and he does the same thing, I wouldn't be allowed work again.
That would be actually an amazing experiment to do that. Get the exact same set. Like gag for gag, exact same set, and just give it to 2 different comics. Wouldn't that be amazing to do? Yeah. See what reaction you'd get. That would be class.
Yeah, it's almost like sorry, go on.
I was gonna say that's an Amazon special.
It's an Amazon special.
We market it. We just said it right here. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll go halves 50-50 on it. You get 5 different comics to do the exact same set.
Yeah.
Right, there we go.
Just go on, get a female comic to go on and absolutely rip men to bits.
Yeah.
I say, well, Joanne does that anyway. Right, Joanne McValley.
We'll get Joanne exactly.
Right. I'll go on. I'll ask Joanne for that material. Yeah. I'll just reverse it all.
Yeah.
And I'll put women on it, and I swear, but I go out to the same audience, you know, because Joanne's audience are all locked anyway. So I'll go to the same audience. And I'll do the same. I'll be like, boo, how can you say that? That's terrible.
How dare he?
She just did that.
Yeah.
So look, you can kind of, it's fair game to stay in your own lane. You know what I mean? That's what you do as a comic. And then but like Bill Burr, I'm a big fan of Bill Burr's. But the reason I like Bill is Bill will say something like he has a lovely routine about a lesbian coming towards him in the street in New York. And they shoulder each other, right? And you can see the crowd going, Jesus. But he always goes and has a brilliant reason, and it's always... And at the end of the routine, he's sitting in a bar with the lesbian having a drink.
Amazing. Dave Chappelle does that really well as well, I think.
Yeah, Dave's good at that too. I mean, like... And Bill kind of just points out stuff that's like one big obvious thing he did, which was the funniest thing in this routine. He goes, he goes, and I can hear you all saying, "Oh, but how do you know it was a lesbian coming towards you?" Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he said, and he goes, "Well, I'll play this game," and there's like thousands of them. He goes, "Close your eyes," and he goes, "Now, fireman." So whatever image goes in your head, right? Fireman.
Yeah.
And they go, paramedic, and then he goes, lesbian, and they're all like laughing. So, but he's very good, yeah. And Dave Chappelle. I mean, all of them are. Yeah, I'm afraid it was not a James Bond movie. The world's had enough.
Yeah.
The world has had enough. I think COVID as well, everybody was like dying and we were miserable and we couldn't do anything and everything. And then people rush to venues now. And they like I did a thing. I've been, because I work on my stuff a lot on stage, and I was doing this thing that's now getting a round of applause, and I'm going, oh my God, I need to work a bit more on that, because I just threw it out there last week, which was, I said, you know aliens, right? Which first of all I said, which you don't, because they're not real. But anyway, right? I said, do you know aliens, right? And they're all going, yeah. And I said, so when you picture an alien in your head, you see the huge, because first of all, just before that, I was talking to a kid and he was saying bits to me. And I said, would it be easier if I Snapchat you to talk to you? I said, is that what you do? And he goes, yeah. And I says, do you Snapchat your mates when you're in a circle? He goes, yeah. I actually text the people that are standing beside me. So I said, right. I said, this is the crack with the aliens. This is what I think's happened, right? Is that the ones with the big head, right?
Yeah.
And huge eyes with neither no mouth or tiny mouth they think they have. Uh-huh. And they always have these big, huge, long fingers.
They're on Snapchat for too long.
No, this is it, yeah. So, and they've no genitals at all. So they've discovered time travel, and it's us. Yes. And we're coming back all the time to warn us, right? To start talking to each other more, have to crack it off the phones, because that's what the big eyes are for. The mouths are gone because nobody's talking. And because of all of the different types of genders and things and chopping our balls off and changing our boobs and doing everything. Yeah. Now they're going, look, now we've nothing. We haven't got anything yet. It's gone. We're like a Barbie doll.
I think you could be onto something. Oh, wow.
Well, if time travel, because Einstein did say it was absolutely possible, right? Which was the wormhole,
the wormholes, yeah.
He's going, look, way in the future, but wouldn't that be so funny if that... So when they're actually abducting people, and they're always probing, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're probably trying to take our willies and all of our fucking reproductive organs. They go, give me that, and they're like sticking it on them for Halloween. Yeah. What did you dress up as? Look, I've got a willy. I took it off your man. But anyway, but we're also inventing ourselves. You know, because even my dad, I tell a story about my dad about when he was a cooper, and then he was no longer a cooper because modern technology kicked in and the metal kegs were put in. So that was already starting then. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And I was in getting my stents, right? My stents, okay? Mm-hmm. Now I went to a company to do a charity, well, not a charity, but a corporate gig for the guys who make the stents.
Oh, no way.
In Clonmel.
After you had gotten them? Yeah. Okay.
Went in to have a look at it. They were going, will you do it? Like they were doing like a kind of a day for the workers. There's like 1,200 of them. Yeah. Now there was 600 in the first room and 600 in the second. We did 2 gigs, but it was full. First of all, the 600 was full because they got an hour off work if they went down to it. So that was full. Second of all, the second one was full because they got an hour off work before they started the next shift. So they were like getting paid for sitting there. And so, So they brought me around, showed me how the stents were made. because there's a catheter,
Yes.
big long catheter, and the stent sits on it. So the stent isn't actually made in that company. They actually put it on this catheter, and then it has to be carefully
threaded up almost.
threaded on. Like there's loads of work, and it's all hand done. Everything's handmade. Like it's all.
Wow.
So there's loads of them, right? And I was looking at this thing. They were doing this thing, and then they took this out of a machine because it was like sterilized, and then this guy did something with it, like he put on this thread thing, and I said, I thought there'd be loads of robots in here or something, or machines doing things. And he went, no, it's just us. And then they said, one of them goes, yeah, we're looking at a robot to do that. And I said that on stage. Yeah. I says, if you see a robot coming in here, you burn it, burn the thing. I says, you kick it to death or throw in a bin or just like sabotage it. Don't let any robots in here. Because, do you know, I was gigging in India.
All right.
This is all related now. Sorry, Hilary.
No.
I'm gigging in India. I go over to the night one. First of all, I went to Delhi to do shows, right?
Yeah.
And if you've never been to India, this is how I see people go. Yeah, I'd recommend that you definitely go there, but don't ever go there. That's how I say it.
Yeah.
It's terrifying. And as a mother and all, you just got to get used to it. But so over there's so many of them. And a lot of them don't have jobs. But we drove into a car park. The guy who was running the gig with us, we drove into the car park where the venue was. And a guy lifted up the barrier, physically lifted up the barrier, right? Mm-hmm. Then we drove to the barrier. Another guy came over and he gave us a ticket from the machine that we could have got, but he got it. And then another guy showed us where to park. And then on the way out, we gave the ticket to the fella. He put it in the machine, came back, gave us our change. Another guy showed us how to get out. And another guy on the other side of the same barrier, but a different fella. He's in charge of the out. Another guy's in charge of the in. So they could have automated barriers and everything, but the government won't let them.
Really?
No, they won't let them do anything like that. And we all think it's because they've no money. It's not. It's because they'll have nothing to do.
That's great.
I know. That's what my mate says. He says, no way. We will never have that. He's an Indian man, this guy. He was telling me this. And he says, and when they did the stage, there was like 20 of them building the stage and another 20 building the screen. Now, they get paid little or nothing. But it's either that or nothing.
Exactly, or nothing. And the population there is so immense. They have to do something. Here's an interesting one. So, I mean, you talk about, robots, okay, but also we have like AI, which is...
Fuck,
I don't know what your thoughts are on AI. I'm really interested in it. Tell me what your thoughts are.
Okay, so first of all, if we go around look kind of technology, look, first of all, technology saved my life. Do you know what I mean? Because I've got stents in it.
There you go.
In there, right? I didn't have to have open heart surgery because somebody invented a different type of surgery.
Wow, yeah.
The drone thing at the moment, people going, bleeding drones delivering your shopping. But a drone will be able to get to an island off the coast of somewhere and deliver medicine. Mm-hmm. So it'll be saving lives. Mm-hmm. And AI is, yes, a nightmare for us as writers. Books, plays.
Is it though? It's not there yet, I don't think.
No, it's not there yet. But look at how quick it's moving.
Yeah.
But AI then will also do good as well.
This is where I'm at. So I think, like, obviously we've been interacting with AI for a very long time. We just haven't really been fully aware of it, is the thing,
It's like laughing at us going, I've always been here.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you talking about?
I am you.
Yes, I'm in your phone.
Yeah, exactly. Since email or internet, we've been pretty much interacting, with it. But then there was the big, ChatGPT launch last year that really kind of caught fire in conversation. And at the start, I was like, oh my God, this is it. They're going to take over. We're all done for. La. And then I went, hang on a second. Because, if you think back, say to our parents' time, what would they have thought? When phones came out and emails and all that kind of stuff, it would have ruined the world. But yet now we rely on them so heavily. AI, I think, once it's used in some kind of responsible manner, I think has amazing potential. And I asked AI about you. Do you want to know what it said?
What did it say?
Do you want to know?
He is actually Ed Byrne. What's it say? Come on, I love it.
Okay. Let me see. So I asked AI, what is the best thing about Jason Byrne?
My God.
Here's what it said. One of the best things about Jason Byrne is his unique and energetic style of comedy. He's known for his improvisational talent, audience interaction, and the ability to turn everyday situations into hilarious experiences. His humour is often characterised by its spontaneity and relatability, making him a favourite among comedy enthusiasts.
I love AI.
There you go!
I don't have any problem with it at all. I don't know what's going on. I know you're saying about how our parents would have reacted to it. My dad would have went like this. Wow. That's what he would have done. Sure, I remember him trying to do the record button on the video, recording the telly, all that.
I remember my dad with the remote control, just like the frustration of like not even knowing where the power switch was, you know.
But there is one thing, I mean, absolutely, definitely, we are definitely inventing ourselves out of existence. That's definitely going to happen. But the only thing I'll tell you, though, I think, Hilary, though, because of a live act, and especially what you do with acting, is that people are clinging onto the past. They love the nostalgia. They love to look at old things. They love vintage shops, old bits of... Like even when I did my dad's play, because it's in his shed, I brought everything that he... Well, not everything he owned, because we would have had to do it in the RDS, but like just bits of his shed on the stage. And afterwards, I didn't even know people were doing this, but they were all queuing up to take pictures with the bits of tools that he had, and wow, old radios and phones, and there was kids going, "What's that?" And so we love all that. So live work, I think, live music, plays, like all that stuff, I don't think that'll ever die.
I think there's going to be a massive rebirth, actually, to be honest, for live shows, because I think, you know, with the whole, you know, what they're trying to do in Hollywood is just trying to AI people's actors' faces and actors' voices and, you know, AI scripts, like you said. I don't think they're quite there with it. And I think I've seen AI work. It's not amazing. It's good, but you instinctively know it's AI. And so then it doesn't feel genuine, and there's something missing from it. There's that human touch is missing from it, literally. So I think like live work is going to kick off again in a big way, you know. And
most of our great writers were alcoholics, so I don't know how AI is going to do that. AI hasn't got an emotional baggage that all of them had. Brendan Bean and James Joyce and all. Do you know there's a bit of footage? I have to find it. You go on YouTube, you'll find it. There is footage of all of them in a YouTube black and white little documentary, and they're interviewing Patrick Kavanagh, Miles O'Copleen, Brendan Bean. Joyce is obviously not there; he's dead. But but there's like Brendan Bean in the Stag's Head, and he's going, "What's that? What is that?" He's pointing at the camera, and he's going, "It's a camera." He's locked with a Guinness on him, and they're going, "That's it's a camera." He goes, "That's not a camera." Well, you know a camera. And they go, "No, it's recording you." He goes, "It's what? It's what?" You know what I mean? And
that's
funny
incredible.
Enough, connection to my dad and Brendan Bean was they both lived in Crumlin. My dad was a little kid, obviously, when Brendan Bean was walking around, and you know, and the beautiful story writers that they are, and the history that they have, and they, you know, his plays gone all over the world. And you know, I looked at my dad and I said, "Dad," I said, "what was Brendan Bean like?" And my dad goes, "He was a fucking arsehole."
Yeah.
And I go,
wow.
And he goes, "He was a moody, drunken bollocks." Me dad said, that's nobody liked him.
Yeah.
I'm going, no, Dad, no. Tell me he was walking along with a quill in his hand, like reciting poetry and plays he was in the street. He was going,
wasn't. No, he was lamenting. I worked with an actor before who was obsessed with like old Irish actors, really obsessed, and was reading all their memoirs, and he had them on a pedestal. And I remember saying one day to him, I was like, "These guys are all your heroes, yeah?" And he was like, "Yeah, oh my God, if I could do that, or if I could, and this is what he did, and I was like, "They're all fucking assholes. Your heroes are fucking alcoholic assholes, and most of them were abusive to their families." So, you know, that's just to put a different frame on it.
Yeah, absolutely, they were, because they were driven by drink and madness. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and trauma. So much fucking trauma. Jesus Christ, we have a whole generations and generations of it in this country, you know. That we got to unpack.
Yeah, and then we had I was doing a movie years ago called Alice in Wonderland, and Paddy Joyce was in it with me, and he was like nearly 75, 76, whatever. And he was James Joyce's nephew. And I was in England in Shepperton Studios, and we were just with stuntmen, because I was Rabbit's gardener and he was my assistant, and a stuntman had to jump off a height dressed as me. And I said, so it's a stuntman. Oh, he is. And they go, that's James Joyce's nephew. They're going, who's James Joyce? Didn't even know, right? So Paddy's dead now, obviously. This is a long time ago. And he said he used to live with James Joyce in Paris.
Wow.
I was going, what? And he goes, yeah. Because my mother was his sister. I lived there. And he says, and he used to walk me around Paris with his cane. Like could barely see. He was nearly totally blind. And walked. It's just not just insane to have that connection to go.
To such a prominent historical figure. It's crazy.
Yeah, but then again, I did have a great thing yesterday that John Lennon's son liked something I put up.
Go on.
Julian Lennon.
Yeah.
He posted a post that I put up yesterday.
Your claim to even more fame.
It's gone. Listen, I've met a couple of stars as you have, but that's John Lennon's son.
Yeah.
Which, as well as that, you know what, I get really upset because they always go off and try, because you can hear Julian a lot of times being interviewed going, I'm doing, because he's doing really well in photography. He's going, now I'm doing really well and I'm not really, I don't have to be John Lennon's son anymore. But, do you ever think that, like, that's their job? That's their job. To be a son of that. Your job is to be John Lennon's son. We love John Lennon. So can you not just be John Lennon's son? Same with Michael Jackson's kids. But you're Michael Jackson's kids.
Yeah, you don't have to do anything else.
No, don't do photography or other music. Because you're the nearest thing to John Lennon. And you don't even look like him.
Massive pressure, do you not think? For kids whose parents are famous. I mean, like I'm a very low level fame in Ireland, but I'm very conscious of it for my own kids. Like, does that ever play out in your family? Are your kids conscious of it? Are you conscious of it for your kids?
23-year-old doesn't like it at all. He's like, he hates going anywhere with me because he goes, all right, Jason. But the 16-year-old, oh my God. She did Gogglebox with me, right?
Yeah.
So Daniel is like, he's like, all right. And then whenever I go to collect him in front of his mates all go, you're a legend. Jason's a legend. So he's like going, yeah, love it.
That's
so like
cute.
sometimes they like it, but if you're a massive like John Lennon, like whoever else, Paul McCartney's, well, Stella's done very well, of course. You know,
Holy Moses, yeah.
But like, is there a lot of pressure just to be you? Can they not just fucking stop moaning, sit on the millions, and just walk around and go, are you John Lennon's son? Yep. That's who I am. What do you want?
I would disappear into oblivion, I'd say. I'd just be like, yeah. And then I just take the millions and just disappear. I don't think, you know what I mean? Unless you had some kind of...
I think I'm very proud of is it Romeo Beckham? Beckham Rome? What's his son's name?
Yeah, he's the eldest, is he?
Yeah, that's what he does. He does that.
Does he?
He goes, my dad's David Beckham. Oh, and my mum is Victoria Beckham. So it's like he literally walks around with tattoos, everything going bam, 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 bam. Like Jason McAteer, another footballer.
Yeah.
Who was, I see Jason all the time. He always does loads of different stuff with us.
He's a lovely fella. I met him once. Very nice fella, actually.
Yeah. I said to him, I said this thing to him as well. I says, there's a lot of pressure on your sons to play football. And he goes, no, there's not. There's no pressure on my sons to play football. He goes, why? He goes, because he tried it once and he couldn't fucking kick a ball for for his life. So now he's just Jason McAteer's son again. What I do? If I was John Lennon's son, do you know what I do? I just go on stage and just start playing all the songs and just pretend I made them up.
I think he did though for a while, didn't he?
No, I think he did his own. No, he did his own, didn't he? Oh, you said yuck. Yeah, maybe he did for a while, but like...
Who was it? It wasn't John Lennon.
No, it could have been Julian that did a couple of his songs.
No, it was George Harrison's son. He does that, doesn't he?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But like, I mean, he's very much is it his son? I'm getting confused now.
Ringo Starr's son, I think, is a drummer.
Yeah, but...
Who drums with him.
I think it's George Harrison's son who just covers everything, and it's cool. Like, it's actually really, and he's just like, he's just living the legacy essentially. Like,
yeah, which was really cool.
Would your lads ever go into do what you're doing?
Well, a 23-year-old, no, because he's like a coder and an animator on game, and that's what he writes and works on. So that's really good. The 16-year-old openly told me that he was going to go to college, and I went, really? He goes, yeah. But I'm going to party for 4 years and learn nothing. You're going to pay for it all. And if you could have a car and a house ready for me when I come out the other side, that'd be great.
I love this young fella.
I was
Oh my
like-
God, he's on it.
So look, I will say Daniel is, he is very funny. And so Devon has dry wit and Daniel has kind of more outgoing wit. Do you know what I mean?
Very
So
good.
it's very funny. But yeah, I mean, God, who knows? I mean, I seen Billy Connolly doing stand-up when I was 16, 17. And I'd never seen him stand up before. Seen it at Olympia. But the thing I did when I left, because I was in one of the boxes, I could see them all looking at him. And I was looking at him going, he's on his own there. He's just standing there on his own.
Yeah.
And it's like, whatever, 1,400 people laughing their heads off at him.
Yeah.
And then afterwards I came out and I went, I'd never do that. No way would I ever do that.
And what was the catalyst that changed that?
It was, it was, I think it was just fate. Unfortunately, it was a thing that just happened to me. I went to
It's like everything just happens to you, Jason.
I know. It's like, what? I said everything I do, I always go, what? I have to what? So like, because I was at a gig, I was watching it because I was a big fan of stand-up, and I only ever went to see it. Never had any intentions of doing it. And my mate Martin Byrne was with me, and we went to see Barry Murphy was emceeing, who now does Gunter.
Yes, Après Match,
Après Match and all.
Yeah.
And Barry was hosting, and a guy called Simon Bly was on, and there was a joke competition that you just wrote down. You didn't have to say it. And the joke was, because Barry would be very much into surreal stuff, and the joke was, and this is it's this joke's fault. I am who I am. Okay. So it said, what's the difference between Mary McAleese and Eamon de Valera, right? And I just put down, Eamon de Valera doesn't live next door to me, ma'am. Right? That's all. Just a bit of madness.
Yeah.
And Barry made that the winner. And so afterwards he came down and he said, can the winner meet me at the end? I came over. He gave me a Foster's hat for winning. And then Martin Byrne, my mate, goes, he wants to do stand-up. I swear to God. I went, no, I don't. And Barry goes, right, grand. And Barry had this famous blue book that he would book everybody in for the International Bar, the Comedy Cellar.
Oh.
And Barry goes, I'll give you 5 gigs, he says. And if you don't like it after that, just give it up. And I was like, but you see, I always love the challenge. If anybody challenged me like that.
Yeah, okay.
And Martin goes, go on. I went, I don't know. And I should, here, all right. I'll give it a go.
Wow.
And so that
and
was
after the 5 gigs, were you hooked? Was that it?
Yeah, but so the first gig was a stormer because everybody came, all me mates. Second gig was not so much of a stormer because I now found out that people didn't give a shit who I was or what was going on. They just wanted to laugh, make sure you're funny. But I did pretty well, and I was doing props and really unusual type of stand-up. I used to walk on stage with a full curtain. Like, let's say, a curtain off a box room window. I'd have that fully drawn, and they'd introduce me, and I'd come on behind it, but in my hand. I'd walk on. So all you could see is my legs. And I used to just tap the mic through the curtain. Just tap it like that. And they'd be just staring at me going, what is going on? And then I had Zaga. Do you ever think called Zagabonds? They were like zig and zag things.
The little bouncy things that you put on a hairband type thing.
Yeah, I had them, and I just started. And this was the actual song I went behind the mic. So now the mic is on this side of the curtain. The curtain is still in front of me. They haven't even seen me. And I used to go, da-da-na-na-na, da-da-na-na-na. And I used to just put the Zagabonds over the top, real slow, and then down, and then to the side. And people then just started laughing. And I just kept doing that surreal stuff there because I was a massive fan of Tommy Cooper, Spike Milligan,
amazing.
All the surreal type of heads. I loved all them. Even though I loved Dave Allen for his chit chats.
Yeah.
But I found it easier to do madness,
Yeah.
I still have bits of props on stage now, and I do love my props. And I did say the other night I was doing a player card try type of thing on stage, which people loved. And I apologized to all the I said I apologize to all the teenagers and young people in the audience because I've talked about Tales of the Unexpected, Player Card Tries.
Yeah.
And I said, if you don't know them, then you definitely won't know who this is. And I just lift up a little doll's hand and I go, Jeremy Beadle, right? Because he had one big hand and one little hand, and I don't even have to say anything. And in the room, I'm just holding it, the little hand and the big hand, the plastic hand in my hand, and they're literally in tears, and you can see the teenagers now looking at their mums and dads going, what are you laughing at?
Yeah.
So that's my favourite prop right now. Because a little hand that just comes up slowly like that can make people laugh that much.
Oh, I love it.
I know.
Can we go back to the book for a second?
Oh, jeez.
Oh, I love the book. But this is something that I kept on thinking as I was reading it, and I was like, I must ask Jason this. How did your family feel about it? Like, did you go to them beforehand and say, hey, look, I'm going to write this book. Do you mind being in it? Because obviously you're part of my family and my story. Or did you Did you discuss it with them at all? Or like, what did your mum think in the end? Or did she read it? Hey, if you're enjoying this episode and you'd like to show your support, if you like, you can buy us a coffee using the Buy Me a Coffee app or online at buymeacoffee.com/Live Wild Podcast, or just click the link in our show notes, it will take you there. Alternatively, you can also donate crypto to the show using the BitDonate app or at bitdonate.com and search for Live Wild, or just follow the link in the show notes. Either or both those donations really help us make the best show possible. And as always, you can like, subscribe, and share the show with your mates or on social media. Thank you so much for your help.
No, yes, she read it.
Yeah,
of course. But my mum's not like this kind of academic woman with her glasses on the end of her nose, going, I didn't like the way you approached our life in the 1970s. She was. Can I just say, here's a good description. My dad's playing the Paddy Lamached talks, right? Mm-hmm. My mum went to see it in the Fringe. She's never seen it. And at the end, the whole room's crying, right? They're all clapping and crying. Yeah. And then I said, there's my little mam. Even I had a tear in my eye because my mam, little mam, she's just clapping away, right? Looking at me. And I came up afterwards and I went, you all right? She goes, yeah, I didn't cry. I went, why didn't you cry? She goes, well, my son's up there doing a job. I'm not going to start crying, right? And then she said, because, and anyway, I knew how much of a bastard your dad really was, right? That's what she said, right? She goes, you standing there going all the wonderful stories and the wonderful Paddy Byrne. She's going, he was a bleeding pain in the arse. So when I write a book, my mom just immediately just goes, that is absolutely amazing. Oh my God. She was a ballroom dancer. She's from showbiz land. She loves all that stuff. And when anybody, and she always does there's always women stopping her in Super Value. Yeah. But there's never, they don't. Because she goes with my sister. My sister does the shopping now. I mean, mum always goes, 5 people stopped me in Super Value to say your book was amazing. But it's not true. Because in the centre of that book, right, there's actually a letter that my mum wrote in the pictures. You might be able to see it, right?
Yeah, out of your hand.
Right. And it I don't know, here, maybe you can read it out. It's not even that long, is it? It's a letter.
Oh, gorgeous.
So
will I read it?
Yeah, go on and I'll explain.
Okay. Dear sirs, we have just finished watching your wonderful... Is this the one?
Yeah.
Okay. Dear sirs, we have just finished watching your wonderful... What's that word? Program, from the Children's Hospital, which was a great idea and must have been wonderful for the sick children. The reason I am writing is because of this guy, Jason Byrne. He really made us all laugh when we were having our breakfast. Please, can we have more of him? And why is he not presenting on TV3? We love TV3 and we don't even switch on RTE because it's boring. So go ahead, give us more of this guy. Many thanks, the O'Brien family.
No, sorry, can you spell the O'Brien family in the letter?
O-B-R-I-A-N.
Yeah, it's spelled wrong. That's not how you spell O'Brien.
Yeah, of course. Sorry.
The minute I was given that letter from TV3, I was in there one day and I went, look at this letter came in. I went, that's me mum's writing.
Stop.
Yeah, my mum used to do that all the time. She used to write into show all the time going, why, oh why, is this why not on the telly more? We love Jason Byrne.
She's your number one fan.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gorgeous, Jason.
When Jerry Ryan was alive, she used to put stuff in his door. She used to go over to Clontarf.
Stop.
And put stuff in his door to say I was doing a show she was. So when I do a book or I write anything or I do a play, my mum, they're all, and my family are good fun as well. And there's nothing bad.
No, it's gorgeous. No.
I mean, my brother Eric, who lives in Sweden, we do call him Eric the Phone.
That made me laugh. That did make me laugh.
But the idea now, Hilary, is that because I have that book and this book, we're doing the play is to bring it all together into one thing and write a kind of a TV or some sort of visual idea. Yeah, that's going to be. I mean, like you obviously in the Young Offenders, which was amazing, and it's so funny. Well done.
Thank you.
So it would be more. My thing would be. I suppose my dad was the nearest thing to the kind of snapper.
Yeah.
So it's not Mrs. Brown's. Bollocks, right? Yeah, okay. Yeah. And I don't mind saying bollocks because Brendan O'Carroll was a pain in the arse to me in the late the other day.
Okay.
Like cutting over me like a little prick. I know. I was literally. I was telling the story live and late. He's sitting beside me and he just cuts across me and goes, here, can you email in the rest of the show? And I was about to go for him and I went, no, don't go for him. Just leave him alone. He's just a little
Summarize.
Yeah, summarize. Oh, yeah.
Summarize.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Jesus.
Good.
Yeah, that goes through the book a lot, by the way. People will be happy to know. That's Ryan Tubridy's brother. Yes. He kept telling me to summarize things.
Summarize.
Like, it's brilliant. Niall Tubridy. Summarize, Jason. Because there's a bit in the book where I talk about my career and I start talking, he goes, oh, Jesus Christ, summarise. So the idea is to bring my dad totally to life now. And bringing his mates and bringing everybody. And we're doing a week run in London with the play. And I hope to, by then, have the bits of script ready, at least for some I just think it'd be so funny. I think
it's a wonderful idea. And actually, having read the book, and I was only thinking about the play this morning that I'm dying to go see it. I'll be the one blubbering up the front, you know that.
God.
But I was like, that's the next step. Like it'll consolidate all this gorgeous material that you have. Definitely a TV series. This is the next step for that. Definitely.
Like there's a sketch I'd love to see in it. I mean, there's so many little scenes in it.
Yeah.
That I'd love to see, and because there's a bit in that story there for Italia 90 where my dad decided to follow the football team. He'd never followed football in his life. And he goes to the pub down in a green Lacoste top.
Yeah, and he's kissing the label.
He's kissing the Lacoste label, going, and they're all going, shut up, you Paddy, you don't know nothing about football. Yeah, I do. He's getting all the names wrong. But then there was the whole thing of when they went down to the credit union, that time when Ireland got into the quarterfinals.
Yes.
Against Romania.
Yeah.
And I would love to see that scene where it's packed inside the credit union. There's a big queues, they're all wearing flags, and then the manager comes out, stands on the bonnet of a car and goes, is anybody here to lodge money? And there's silence. Okay, is anybody here for a loan? And it's like, yes. Is anybody here for a loan that's not connected to Italian 90? Yeah. And it's silence. and then there was just like people queuing, and your man has to lock the door because he can't give away any more money. Like,
it's amazing. Because when I read that, I was like, that can't be true. It can't be true. But amazing.
Yeah, but they were in banks, credit unions, they were doing everything, selling their cars, doing anything they could do to get there. But my dad, there's so many cool little stories. They are like scenes.
Every
in a show.
Yeah.
That you could even pick one scene and make that an episode. You know what I mean?
100%.
And that's what you kind of do. Because my mum's very funny. We have the lovely family. And my dad was a lovely character because he was, everybody liked my dad. He wasn't a prick, so he defended his family.
Yeah. Did the best he could for them. Yeah.
There was a kid down the road, like I never bullied anybody, right? But I used to call this guy Mihole because he was an arsehole, right? And he was annoying me. His name was Mihole. And I remember I was sitting on my own one day in the house. My dad was there, just me and my dad. And the doorbell went, and your woman was there with Mihole holding the mammy.
No.
And my dad's standing there with a fag in his mouth. So my dad hated any neighbours, like he didn't have anything to do with them. And he's like going, he looks at her, she's going, you're Jason Byrne's father. And my dad's going, yep. Like this is staring at her. And she's going, he keeps calling my son Mihole, right? And my dad is just standing there trying not to laugh, and he's going, does he? What's he call him again? And you kept making her say it. And she's going, Mihole. He goes, okay, but don't you worry, I'll go in and make sure that Jason does not call your son Mihole anymore, right? And the kid, off they went, you know. And my dad just came in, he was kind of laughing, and then he straightened his face, and he went, don't be calling that kid Mihole anymore. He goes, it's funny, but don't fucking do that again, right? And so that was it. My dad would never, and he never told my mum anything.
Wow.
So my dad would never go, I'm telling your mother when she gets home. Zip. My other dad's lovely mantra, and this is a great thing for everybody, never tell anybody anything they don't need to know. Do you know what I mean?
Wow.
My dad always said that. He always said that. He goes, don't be telling people this stuff they don't, because we're obsessed with that.
Yeah.
Do you know when someone stand there and you tell them something that's going to upset them? It's like an Irish thing. I don't know why. And we just go, like the English don't do that. The Brits don't do that.
Do they not?
No, they don't tell you stuff you don't need to know. Especially London Brits and all down south. They're always keep to themselves. Mind you, Manchester, Liverpool and all, they're more like us. But like, there's no need to go like I've often had people go to me and go, oh, I seen that shit review or something you got, or, oh, did you see that horrible tweet? And I'm going, so that's stuff you don't need to know.
Yeah. Thank you for bringing it to my attention. But like, I'm good for that.
Or,
Thanks.
or something in your career, or something your child, or whatever. Or and like my dad was brilliant at that. And my dad used to have a lovely thing. He used to say that if someone's telling you a story and you've heard it before, let them tell the story. Don't do that thing of like, oh, I know this. That's not right. This could be a story my dad says they've been telling for 20 years.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and then this happened to me, right? I couldn't believe it, right? I was in England, and a guy, he was really excited. He does a podcast in England, a lovely fella. And he goes, oh, Jason, I've got a Bono story. What? He goes, well, in England here, in a restaurant in the he said the Ivy, Bruce Springsteen and Bono were having dinner together. And this woman seen them, and Bono went to the toilet, and she said to Bruce Springsteen, oh my God, it's my birthday, do you reckon he'd say hello? And Bruce Springsteen said, yeah, no problem, of course he will. And he'll do a picture. He came out, he did a picture with them, and then Bono bought all their whole meal. Isn't that brilliant? But I know the real story. So I just let him tell it. And I went, oh, well, yeah, brilliant. He goes, yeah, what a story. That's not what happened. It's an Irish story from Dublin. So Bono was with Bruce Springsteen, and Bono was told this story. I've seen him tell it. And Bono's in a restaurant or a pub, or even on the street. I can't remember where he was exactly. But a woman seen Bono and said, oh my God, can I get your picture? No problem. And gave the camera to Bruce Springsteen to take it off her and him. And she had no idea who Bruce Springsteen was.
Oh my God.
End of story.
Oh.
No meal, no woman, no London. And then my dad, this is my other favourite dad's story of don't be upsetting people. My mother was going out one day and she's putting her coat on and everything, and my dad goes, where are you off to? And she goes, I'm going to hospital. I'm going to hospital to see I don't know, Pat Cummins. I can't remember the man's name. When I goes, oh yeah, Pat Cummins. And she goes, yeah, he's very, very sick. He's very sick. And then my dad looked up and he went, now don't be fucking crying in front of that man and blubbering in front of him. And he said this, he goes, he's trying to die. So if Anton tell him a joke and have a bit of a laugh, you lot fucking like little nuns around the edge of his bed crying and blubbering. And your mum goes, you're a terrible person. But he's not, is he? Don't be doing that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I've often seen pictures of old people having beers and food with their family as their last hours are coming in. Do you know what I mean? My dad would love that, I think. But when he had severe strokes, so he was gone. But I'd say my dad would have definitely went to me, get me some whiskey, come on. Let's get hammered. But but he never got that chance. But he died over 2 days though. So he didn't have to suffer a lot.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
it's a tricky one, isn't it, to be in that position as a kid? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I felt it was an honor to sit with my dad as he was passing through, you know. But
was he in hospital or at home or?
No, he was in hospital, and it kind of Dad was a warrior. He was hanging in there. It took a long time. So we were there kind of in the final days for about 5 days. So that was, yeah. But we had a laugh, you know, it really brought the family together. Like he was not speaking in the end. Dad was, I'd say, so fucking annoyed. I'd say he was like, just shut the fuck up. He was just like, I remember at one stage, myself and my brother were in, and, you know, we were kind of taking shifts to spend time with him and talk to him, engage with him and that kind of stuff. And he was just not fucking having any of it. He just wouldn't talk to us at all. And next thing, this woman came in and she was really attractive. And she went, hi, Jim, will we try and do a bit of movement or whatever? And he just goes, yeah, that'd be great. And myself and my brother were like looking at each other incredulously going, what? That's just happened. He wouldn't even speak to us for the last 3 days. And this woman walks in and he's like, yeah, that'd be great.
Oh my God. Good on him. Good on him. And
Good on him, that's right. Yeah,
because we do use humour a lot around death like that. Because my Uncle Tom was sitting in the room with my dad when he was dying. And my aunties came in who were all like fingless and like grey crack and all. And I look over at Tom and my dad's dying. Right?
Yeah.
And my auntie Colette goes, you're next. Looking at Tom, laughing, because they're all brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
And he's going, no way, you're older than me, you're going next. And I just burst out laughing, and my dad's like literally dying.
Oh,
you know
it's
I mean?
Great though, in a sense, isn't it? Like you have, like you said, you have to lighten the load in those moments and just, Yeah.
Well, there's a book, Viktor Franklin, which is the Man's Search for Meaning, which is it's a tiny little book. It's so easy to read real quick. And he was a psychotherapist that was in the camps in I don't think he was in Auschwitz. I can't remember which camp he was in, but he said they said humor kept them alive.
Wow.
Humor kept them alive. He says they would be in their bunks, right? He said, with hardly any clothes, no shoes on their feet after being in the snow, making railways, right? I couldn't even imagine. I mean, the detail is amazing. But in their camps, each hut had like a leader who was also a Jew as well. But the leader was, you just got to live longer. You kind of you more or less had to do it. But you had to be horrible to your friends in front of the Germans, right?
Okay.
So it was your idea to keep them in line, and you had to rat them out and stuff. So you'd get extra food, or if you told on them. So he said they were just lying there, and they were just going. He said one night they were just talking about it's like a capo or something they're called. Something, I know that's more mafia, but it was something like that. And they were saying, can you believe the bank manager's the fella? It's who it was of their local town. And then they were just going, how much of a prick he was. And they're literally, they're skin and bones. And it says they were giggling into their, like, we don't even have pillows, just giggling into their hands real quietly to each other as they're slagging your man off. But they're literally, dying. But an amazing thing in the book was, which is another thing, I thought this is a great line. I said, I'm going to use that lesson, was he went on, by the way, he survived this camp and went on to be amazing psychotherapist and wrote books and invented a thing called logotherapy, which is about he looked after people in suicide and all. He gives you a reason for being on the earth. He says everybody has a reason to be here. So when people go, nobody loves me or nobody wants, he goes, yes they do. The earth loves you, the world loves you, everybody needs you. And that's logotherapy that he taught, and he taught people how to survive those, because he was with awful stuff. But he said one day he was trying to convince this guy, right? And this guy said, I've had a dream, Victor. I've had a dream that Liberation Day, whatever, is coming on this date, right? And he went, no, don't do that. Don't do that. That's not how you survive on here. We've got to do it day by day. He says, and he helped loads of people live that way. Wow. And the man went, no, it's coming on, let's say the 12th of December, whatever, 19, whatever it was. And Victor says that day came and it wasn't Liberation Day. And the guy died the next day. He just died because he just couldn't believe it and he just gave up. Wow. Isn't that mad how it can keep you alive? Wow. Yeah. So we do that a lot. I used to do that a lot. Future, I've got to do the thing. Or if I don't get to the thing, if I don't get the yoke, or I don't get, just like,
yeah. And we talked about this in person. Like when is enough? When do you stop and slow down and go, okay, I'm just going to actually really enjoy what I have, what I'm doing, my family, most importantly, when's enough? Because I suppose as a stand-up as well, the nature of the beast, what you do is touring. And like you said, at this stage, you hate the travel. It's just so hardcore to do so much of it.
Yeah. That's why, do you know what, when I did the Young Offenders with you, I absolutely loved...
No, you didn't.
Oh, we're not going to... No, let's say it doesn't matter.
I just...
Okay, well, beep. What do you mean? I love how that is a secret and it comes out and nobody gives a shit.
I know. Nobody ever gives a shit. But we just have
anyway, when I went up to visit you, Young Offenders.
When you visited me in Cork.
I love seeing the ways they're all just in the one place. And they're all like a lovely family and just the fun of it all and just all together, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. It was really, really good.
It is.
But my dad also said this. Here's more mantra from the Paddy Lama.
I love it.
He used to say to me, like, because he'd be watching people on the telly, getting their plastic surgery and their lips and whatever's going on, and these people trying to be. My dad used to say, do you know, there's always somebody in the world that would really like to be you. That's what he used to say.
I read that. I thought that was gorgeous. I thought that was so gorgeous. Yeah.
Just think of someone looks at what you do, Hilary, or what I do. Yeah. They go, oh my God. Then that person who's saying that, who's probably safe and warm where they live, there's somebody in the Ukraine or now in Palestine or Israel going, I'd love to be that, and on it goes.
Yeah. 100%. That's such a lovely way to live. Like, there's always somebody else who would love to be you or love to be what you're doing. Because you think you have problems. You wake up in the morning and you go, oh, fuck's sake, I'm going to have to do this and do this and do this. And you're like, no, hang on, let's have a bit of perspective on it,
Yeah,
But it takes little nuggets of wisdom, succinct nuggets of wisdom like that.
yeah.
You
That's
know?
what we need. That's why I always say you should cherish your mum and dads. And you should, and even if you, because my dad, he actually wasn't a big talker. Do you know what I mean? We'd have to sit and coax it out of him with whiskey. And then, but he was a messer then. Then he was always like up in the pub telling jokes and having a laugh. Now, not like, my dad was more deadpan, much quieter. But yeah, you should interview your mum or your dads that are still alive.
Yeah.
Because they'll be full of stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I think what happened to my dad is that he just thought everybody knew that already.
Yeah, interesting, because it's such common sense for someone like that. So how would you not know it?
Yeah, like, someone's always trying to be, I'll be going, what? And he goes, well, of course, what? He just be like this going, you don't know that.
Having played your dad in the play and kind of inhabited him as a character, but a real person as well, like what do you think are the best bits that your dad gave you, consciously or subconsciously?
Oh my God. I actually said that I think now my dad is my subconscious. You know what I mean? So it's not anything. Because you know what? At the end of the play now, I will get. It doesn't matter. It's at the very end of the play, I had to kind of sign it off. But I'm always trying to work out what I think my dad would have said. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like my dad's AI situation. Do you know what I mean? I'm like,
exactly.
I am. And he's my subconscious. I'm trying to work out from knowing him and all his sayings that I've created him again. And so he says at the very end, he goes, when somebody dies, he says to the audience, because it's the end of the play, and he goes, you should always talk about them because, if you don't talk about someone when they die twice. He says, and you should always sit down and have a cup of tea, bring out the photographs, talk about them. He goes, and Jay goes and laugh about them, and have fun about them. And then he stops. My dad has a little fag in his hand and he looks at the audience and he goes, I probably wouldn't go as far as writing a play about them. I thought that's exactly what my dad was saying. And that always gets a round of applause. He goes, that's a bit fucking much. Yeah. So my dad has he tries to, my subconscious as my dad, playing my dad, is trying to tell me to slow down.
Yeah, okay, good.
That's my message. That's what I get from the play. He's going, what are you doing now? Don't be jumping around and mind your stents and mind your heart. And
yeah. When you had to have your stents in, I mean, this is more of a kind of we're skirting around the topic of death for for most of this conversation, but like, how did you feel when you had to have that done? Was it a kind of a life-changing moment, or was it total acceptance, or what way did it work for you?
It kind of went nearly all of those, because I was the reason why I got a little pain in my heart is because I was training on the beach. I was running, right, and I got this little pain. I went, "Whew, that's weird. What the hell is that?" And every time I slowed down, so there's no physical pain in your heart there. It's just because there's no nerve endings. You just feel pressure. That's why you get tingles down your arm. Oh, okay. It's because it moves. Your heart tells your arm you're having a heart attack. So that's why people always get pains in their arms, because it's going over there. The pain's heading over that way. So anyway, and I sort of went in, did the checks. I was still total denial, because I'm going, this can't be right. I'm really fit. Like, I'm not overweight. I don't eat loads. I don't smoke. I barely drink. And so it was when the angiogram was done, the dye was put in, and then the beautiful stent doctor, because he was having a look in there, he put his, and I still love the way doctors put their hands on your shoulders. I go, Jesus, because you're just going, these guys are going to save your life, and they're really good at that. He just gently put his hand on my shoulder and he goes, you've got 3 blocked arteries. And I was like, what? And I just kept going, no, that can't be true, is it? And he goes, yep. He says, one is at 90 and 2 are at 70, right? That's severe, Jason. Yeah, and I was going, what? And he goes, now they're not your big arteries, they're your branched arteries. They're those little things they call the widow makers, right? But they can't be blocked because you'll die. So anyway, they're called what? Widow makers. No wonder they are. Okay, go on. Yeah. Sorry. So he then he said, look, don't worry. He says that's been going on for a while. So the cholesterol's built up because you make a lot of cholesterol. It's hereditary from your mom and your dad, and even your grandparents, and even back further again. He says it just goes on. So then I started to get upset, and he goes, look, it's okay, don't worry. And I says, I don't know why. I says, I thought I was really fit. And he says, don't worry, it's not your fault. There's nothing you could have done about this. And I said, even the run and the train, and why did I even bother? I was going to say, so, and he says, well, that's probably what saved your life. He says, because you would have been sitting on a couch
Mm.
And then you would have just went over. Now, and you would have called the paramedics. And he says, maybe we probably would have saved your life because the paramedics are always good at bringing you back. But he says, but because you were training and blood's rushing through all the time and it's actually, you're making as little amount of cholesterol as you could on your own.
Yeah.
He says that it was just going to be spotted that way. So you're totally fine that way. And then they just put the stents in and then it wasn't like I'm going to change my lifestyle because I hadn't done anything wrong.
Yeah, well, you had the good lifestyle at this. Yeah.
But one thing I just thought I should do is, just try and slow down. So my gig, and even though I'm on my British tour, that's we're very careful of how intense that is.
Yes.
So I do lots of stuff while I'm out on tour, like exercise out on beaches with my tour manager. Mm-hmm. Like we stay in hotels that have spas and stuff, and we kind of lie around and do things. And then I do the gig, but I used to go up and down the stage like a madman. I don't do that anymore. Do you know what I mean?
Good. So your actual act has slowed down somewhat. Yeah,
I physically stand there quite a lot and just have a chat and talk and have a laugh and and it's great because my audience know I have 6 stents. You can see them looking at me. And if I move too quickly, they're like, they're like, it's okay. Do you want to maybe do 20 minutes instead of an hour and a half, Jason?
We're cool with that.
Yeah. One story's enough. Yeah. We just want to say hello. So I will say if anybody who was getting sick, because it's so psychological, the whole stent thing. Because I said to my stent doctor afterwards, they went in the day after, and I was literally going, will I ever gig again? Like literally one of those things.
Yeah.
Will I be able to do a gig again? And he looked at, he's a very funny man. He goes, and the same tone, he went, yes. And I went, when? He went, tomorrow. And I went, what do you mean tomorrow? And he goes, and he looked at me and he went, Jason, I didn't make you worse. I made you better. He goes, I didn't go in and block up your arteries. I've opened your arteries. So now you're actually better. So
now you'll probably have more energy again.
Yeah. But I will say to anybody, because we did have therapy we went to, that we had to go to, what did we call it? It wasn't cardiac therapy. I have to think of it now. Anyway, so we went into hospital, a few of us to do it, 5 of us, and they said it will take you longer in your head to recover. But also, and I did find this when I went back gigging, I probably went back gigging a month too early. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I gave myself a month off. Right?
Good. Yeah, good.
Because the doctor was laughing at me going, oh, all right. So, but I could feel my body trying to attack those stents all the time. I was weak. You know what I mean? And my body's going, what's this? Now you take meds, and I'm also on I've never been on medication in my life. So now I'm on new meds. I'm all lightheaded and going, what the hell is this? My body's going, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So all that took a long time. That took about 3 months.
Yeah.
To get used to.
And I feel like there's a knock in one's confidence when that happens. It doesn't matter what age you are or what your situation is. It's kind of like you're not you're not immortal anymore. It becomes quite apparent at that time. That's
where I took on my dad's attitude, because my dad had a pacemaker, stents as well, right, on warfarin, everything. But he's just the next day he's just like, whatever. Just get on with it now. Do you know what I mean? And I've just been trying to get on with it, but also I've more of a watchful eye than my dad.
Yes.
Had on his health.
Yeah. Dad had a similar thing where he had a tumour on his kidney years and years and years ago. God, this is probably, I would have been in my mid-20s, I'd say. And I was really upset over that, because at that time you're kind of going, oh my God, is he going to go? Is he going to go? And I was very close to him. And he was so pedantic about the whole thing. He went in and he went for surgery. He went, no, I'm just getting the kidney removed. And I was like, oh, okay. And he was like, yeah, just take it out. Like, he went to the surgeon. The surgeon's like, you've got a tumor on the kidney. I think it should come out. And he was like, great, when can we do it? So he went in, got it out, came out, and I was like, oh, Dad, you had cancer and you have to watch this and that. He's like, no, Hilary, I don't have cancer. There was a tumor on the kidney. That's gone. I don't have cancer. So brilliant. Forget about it.
and no talking about it.
Never spoke about it ever after that. I had a tumor. It was cancerous. It's gone. That's it. And I loved that. In a sense, I was the one that was trying to process all this emotion almost on his behalf. Oh, but he was so cut and dried about the whole thing. He's like, no, it's gone. Let's move on.
Yeah, that's what you were doing. And I remember saying, my friend Luke, the tour manager, his dad is from Dublin, right? And he goes, I'm always trying to get them on the plane, or you come over, and the dad's going, and he keeps putting it off, saying he's not well, he's not sick. So he went, oh my God, did you notice this? That all of us as kids, talking to our older parents, we're way more stressed than they are about all of that shit.
Yeah.
So I say to my dad, Dad, you've never been to America. Like, you're like 70, you should get to America. You want to see America? And my dad's looking at him going, well, I don't want to go to America.
Yeah.
And I'm going, but you want to see America? He goes, what the fuck do you want to see that for? And that's the end of it.
So true.
But I'm going, because I love travel. I love seeing different countries and talking to different people and seeing different things. And then I'm going, and then you haven't done this, and you haven't ever been this. Like, you haven't been to the top of the Sugarloaf.
Yeah.
You haven't seen the guy. I mean, Dad again's going, and what?
Happy.
And he has a happier, stable attitude than I have, and stress is nowhere near him. Mm-hmm. But I'm carrying his stress as well. I mean, I went to therapy. I still go to therapy. Oh my God, I'm going next week. Yes, to Byrne. And when I first went there, right, I was looking at her, and I was talking about being a worrier and worried about whatever else, me parents and me kids and everything. And she's very posh. She's not a very posh lady, but she's very well spoken, highly educated. Imagine her. And she's in Killiney, and she goes, so tell me, Jason, she goes, what? Who the fuck do you think you are? She says, right?
I love this woman.
And I went, I thought I said something to her. I was going, oh my God, if I offended you. She goes, no, let's have a listen to that again, Jason. Who the fuck do you think you are? I went, what? She goes, it's none of your business about all these people's lives.
Yeah.
She goes, you can't fix your mother, your dad, your brothers, your sisters and all. She says, you've no business there. And she says, that's you being omnipotent, right? And I'd never heard that word. I went, omnipotent? I says, what's that? And she goes, well, godlike.
Yes.
She says, you're trying to be God. What are you doing? She goes, and again, who the fuck do you think you are? And I just went out going, oh my God, that's brilliant. We're still going to her, because I always get little nuggets like that off her. That's
amazing. Yeah, we've had conversations about therapy as well. I love therapy. I think it's great.
Oh my God, yeah. She does act like my other mother. Well, my mother should have been. My mother just tells you what you want to hear.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, you look fabulous now. Your stents are great. Doing brilliant. Mom, I'm turning around Britain. Oh, I love when you go touring. Mom, I don't want to go touring anymore. I know you shouldn't. You shouldn't. You shouldn't go touring. No, you should stay at home, look after yourself. Mom, I'm going back out again. You should go back out again. Yeah, all the time. Anything. Will you have a trifle? I don't like trifle. I'll never make it again. Oh, Mom, I miss your trifle. I'll make it now.
Oh, that's so adorable.
So I go to like my real mother, who's like going, who the fuck do you think you are? I'm going, oh shit, that's a real mammy.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Hilary.
Are you under pressure?
Amazing. No, I've just got to leave here at 12.
Oh yeah, okay.
Because I've got to go. I'm like, I live in a knoll, which is outside Dublin. I've got to drive into bloody Dublin, get the head shaved, and then I got to get 2 tickets to OMD for a friend of mine for Christmas.
Orchestral Manoeuvres in the Dark.
Yeah. Do you remember them?
Yes! Where are they playing?
In the new year, February or something.
Where? In Dublin?
Yeah.
Oh.
Tree Olympia.
That would be unbelievable.
All I know is that song though. And then it would probably go on and none of them are the original band. 4 of them died last year. I thought it was only 3 years. Oh yeah, sorry, 3 of them died.
I'd love if they did it in the dark.
Oh yeah, Orchestral Manoeuvres in the Dark. That'd be brilliant.
Wouldn't it? That'd be way better if they just did a complete pitch black. Then you'd be like, that's an experience.
As Irish people, we'd find that funny for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then all you hear is, put the lights on.
Yeah. Start having panic attacks in the dark.
Because I buying it for a present, and it was either that or the Stranglers, and then I found out, of course, there's nobody left in the Stranglers. Like the lead singer's gone and everything. So it's that OMD.
OMD it is.
Oh all right. My God.
We'll finish up, right? So this is the Live Wild podcast. Okay. So it's
Say it again, Live what?
Live Wild.
Oh God, I just said wild. I was going, I thought it was called Live Wild. I thought you had I thought I was pronouncing it wrong the whole time. Because I have it on Spotify. I was listening to it because Live Wild. Shit. Sorry, I know we're under pressure, but my mate Jim Owen, who is a brilliant comedian, he's from Northern Ireland, big comedian in Australia, does very well here. He said when The Lord of the Rings came out on the movie, he didn't know any of the names because he was pronouncing all the names in the book the way he wanted to.
Oh no!
He's going, who the hell is Gandalf?
Gandalf.
Gandalfi. Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
This is the Live Wild podcast. So, on the Live Wild podcast, we have the quick fire round. Are you ready for it?
Yeah.
All right. Quick fire round. Do you believe in magic?
What do you mean believe in magic?
Do you believe?
I love magic. Do you mean believe in magic? What do you mean? Like if somebody disappears, I actually go, that's real. Is that what you meant?
No, you just believe. Okay, there's two different types of magic. There's magic with a C and magic with a K. You choose.
Magic with a C?
Yeah.
What, that type of magic? Yeah, I've seen a couple of them out there, all right. Absolute C's. Look at that. Yeah, he's a magician, all right. Anyway, I believe, yes, in magical happenings.
You believe in magical happenings? Okay. You're
looking at me like that.
I'm not looking at that. You're very quiet about it, but this could be a whole other podcast about your magical. God. All right, we'll do a round.
Would that be like fate and things that happen and all? That's Are you going into all that area?
Kind of, yeah.
This isn't very quick fire, is it? This is not quick fire.
No, it's not.
If this was live and we're on the late, then we go like this to Patrick Hilty already, cutting the neck on. We're gonna go to the ads. Forget about the car.
It's not quick fire. Let's get into it. Yeah. So do you believe in magic in
well, like magical things, like, you know, like energy and stuff.
Yeah.
That's around us all the time.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? And because too much stuff has happened to me, and I think that I'm like a magnet for different types of magic all the time. You know, good and bad. Mm-hmm. I feel like some of us are sponges and we have to take on stuff even though we don't want to. Yeah. But I am like, if you literally imagine a magnet and it was iron filings, it's like just jump on me. It's just like poof. I'm just like that big fluff thing you used to do in school, the iron filings. But no, it's good. I often did see that thing, of course, to reference the aliens again. I thought if aliens were real, I'd say for entertainment, they must be using me. Because they'd be just looking at me going, here, let's make him do this. No, not that as well.
But you more than likely then have some kind of empathic quality to you, if that's the case. Because if if you're soaking up people's kind of thought processes or energies, or you're worried about people, or even when you're talking about your therapist there and you're trying to fix things.
I'm
generally,
even my audience, I'm always, that's what I say, I never say anything horrible to my audience. I look at someone, I remember someone sitting on their own and I said, you okay there? And he was like, yeah. And I said, I'll look after you for the night. And he was like, oh, okay. And I just kept making sure he was all right. Yeah. And at the very end, he ended up having a drink with this other little gang that was beside him. So it will be like that, yeah.
But I think comics do that naturally as well. Generally good ones. You read stuff very well. So like that's what that's what you've been doing the last, 20, 30 years, is just reading people. So that's quite empathic, I think.
And I've been around so many different types of nationalities, different people all the way around. It doesn't matter where you're from. At the end of the day, you all fall into different type of categories that I'm used to seeing. And I'm used to. So when someone introduces me to someone and they go, oh, let's say that guy, he's a bit of a dick, this fella and all. And I see him and I hear him and I go, yeah, I've met him about 7 times. And they go, what do you mean by that? And I go, I've met 7 of him in different places around the world.
100%, yeah.
Like we were at a gig once in the Ivy Gardens and a guy was over in the corner and he had a brown leather jacket on, right? He was a small fella. Brown leather jacket, and he had the jeans, and he was wearing kind of brown shoes or something, and there was 6 people around him, and he was just like kind of talking. And I said to my mate, I says, I bet you he's their boss, not their friend. He's their boss, and this is their day. It was the Ivy Gardens Comedy Festival. Yeah. My mate went, no way, I'm going to ask him. Went over, and I was bang on.
I love that.
He went on because he put on the brown leather jacket to go out with the gang.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm out with the gang. I've seen that loads.
I love that. I love going for dinner and observing other people and seeing what the dynamic is, because you could be like, right, that's a first date, right? They're married fucking 20 odd years. They're not even fucking talking to each other. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great fun, that. So I have seen a lot of that. And I do have loads of empathy for heads. Like I have a huge, oh my God, I was trying to do, I only seen it the other day, but I'd love to do it. In Japan, there is a restaurant, right, where it says, and they only came up on YouTube, and it said that 26% of your order will be wrong, but don't worry, you're just doing a good thing.
Yes.
You've seen that it's the old people with dementia. They're the waiters, and they come over and they try to remember your order, but they come back with whatever they think they can remember. And they said it's such a feel good thing that people would rather them get the order wrong than right, because they're feeling like they're doing something good. And these people with dementia, like it's not even bad dementia they have. It's just like bits of memory loss. Like my mum would have that, but it gives them a purpose.
Purpose.
And
Yeah.
I was going,
Beautiful.
I would so love to do that here in Ireland.
Yeah.
Just a pop-up one. I don't know how hard or easy it would be, but of course, every time you try to do something like that, they go, oh, the insurance, those people, they'll fall over. Oh, fuck!
Yeah. Let's not bother, guys, then. Let's not bother doing anything nice, you know?
Thank you.
All right, what's the wildest thing you've ever done? This is a safe space, Jason. You can say whenever you want here.
I suppose made love to a girlfriend in one of the boxes in the Olympia during the Blues Brothers. Oh yeah, she knows who she is, but I won't say her name. But yeah, oh my god, a long time ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, that's pretty wild. It's pretty
We
wild.
gotta be yeah.
You will never forget that.
Yeah. We were kind of backed into the dark. There was nobody in the box. It was like, oh my god, this is so mad.
Wow. All right.
In rhythm to the song as well. It's very, anyway, there we go. That's wild. I just thought a wild. I went, oh my god, it's probably been worse.
If you were to distill yourself down to an essence, what would that essence be?
Like what? Like what type of essence? What do you mean?
Essence, just an essence, I suppose, is like a core property of something. I don't know how to describe an essence.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Like an ingredient almost? Is that what you're trying to get
Maybe,
at?
yeah. I mean, okay, I'll give you samples of what people have said. Some people say, oh, like rose is an essence or lavender. And then others people have said like cheese.
Yeah. No, I get it. All I can see now is sponge. You know, the sponge under the sea?
Okay. Oh, that's interesting. And then
like
that's going back to your empath thing.
Yeah, natural sponge, definitely.
You're a natural sponge.
But you know, sometimes it's good because when the tide goes out, I do have times when the tide's out. And I'm just sitting there in the sun with no weight. But then the tide comes in like a fucking tidal wave, Hilary. And I'm just this heavy sponge. I don't know if sponge is an essence. I always think it's more of a smell. A sponge is smell. Okay.
It is now. It's an essence.
I've picked God, I've got to remember that.
The essence of
Good
Jason
analogy.
Byrne is a sponge. I'll text it on to you later on.
I'm going to say that to my therapist next week. She's going to go, who the fuck do you think you're a sponge? Is that what you think you are now?
And also, who the fuck have you been talking to?
You're talking to Hilary Rose. Natural sponge, yeah.
What?
Writing that down.
Good. What do you stand for?
Oh my God. I suppose just goodwill to each other, you know? I get I once said, driving the car with my tour manager, I said, fucking humanity just lets me down all the time.
Oh, Jason, that's really sad.
No, it does. They're going, what are they doing? Everybody, you know? Just be nice to each other. You know, there's no need for this trying to be better than each other, trying to have one up on somebody, bitching about somebody, just being hard. Just help people. Do you know what I mean? Just be nice.
Just be fucking nice, yeah.
Like in the old days, in the 80s, I know it's a cliche, but that was it with the neighbours. Constantly.
Because nobody had anything either.
No, nobody had anything. You don't need to be materialistic at all. You don't need anything. That's what my dad said in the play. He looks around, he goes, look at me, he says, I'm rich. He says, I'm surrounded by shit that doesn't work, but it's mine.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah.
But just more empathy and just be nicer to people. I go, what is this stuff? Like, I'd love to just grab, because I had this. Well, this isn't a theory because it's a religion, isn't it? That because people go, is God real? And I used to go, do you believe in God? I go, well, no, I think that everybody is God. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And they go, because they always say, God, why can't God sort out this disaster? Why did God do this? Why did God kill that person? He's not doing that. We're doing that.
Yeah.
We do that.
Yes.
We kill each other. We cause disasters. We also cure people. We decide who lives. We decide who dies. And we also create life. So there is probably no God, and I think that might be the Hindu religion, and I can't remember exactly, but they believe that, you know, all of us are God. And the Japanese, that's why, oh my God, my mate was over there. He went, oh my God, I want to live there tomorrow. He goes, what? Everybody is nice to everybody because that's their religion. That's how they do their day-to-day work. Like, excuse me, thank you, food perfect, keep it clean.
Politeness.
That's for you. Down, total, you know, humble, never bragging about what they have or got or did, making sure you're
giving.
okay.
Yeah, they're always giving. They're always in service, and gift giving is their big thing over there.
So to say that there's some almighty fella up in a chair pressing buttons, if he is up there, he's like, are you fucking serious, you lot? And I had to think, I was thinking, like, he went, all right, I'm going to kill you all. And then he just said COVID. And then he went, brilliant. They've now solved that. So I'm going to try and drown them all now. That's what I'm trying to do. But like,
my thing is that there is God. There is 100% I believe in God.
Right.
But God gave us free will. That's the key point that I keep coming back to. So like you said, we're the ones that are doing all that shit.
Yeah. But I don't believe there's a God, but I believe that we are the God for sure. And that actually when we die, that we don't die, but we just stay here as this lovely energy and that we're released. And I remember when my father-in-law passed away, who was just the nicest man ever. And I just thought for a flitter of a moment, I went, I wonder if this is hell. This is hell. Yeah. And when people are taken out, we always say that the good always die young. I wonder if they're going, if they literally, it's the other way around and they're going, I'll take you out this absolute hellhole. And now I'm going to bring you to where you should be.
I think this is a school for learning.
Yeah, that's the same type of theory, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's a school for learning. I think we learn the hardest lessons here. And if we don't learn them, we got to come back and do it all over again until we learn them. That's
the reincarnation.
I veer towards that a little bit. And I agree with you about us being the gods. But I think there is God, but God is everything, including us and including this microphone and including...
Yeah, that's brilliant. So he's not this fella with the big beard.
No, I don't see it as that at all. No. It's just everything. It's like God is spirit, is whatever the universal name you want to call it, creation, source, blah, whatever.
But I did look at a guy in Hong Kong when I was gigging there, and me and Colin Murphy were there, and this little old man, he was wearing this kind of just these rags around like shorts because the humidity was quite hot as well. No other clothes on him. He had loads of sticks on his back. He's about, I'd say, I'm not joking, he must have been 95. He was skin and bones, little fag in his mouth. He put down the sticks, went over and he lit these incense where there's loads of little altars all over the place in Hong Kong, where he was praying like that and nodding and everything like that. And I said to Colin, I said, oh my God. I said, I'd love that. And he goes, what, you love that? I says, no, he really believes he's going somewhere. He has no fear of dying or going anywhere. And I said, so I always say that, I envy people with religion. But here's another one that could be it. Oh my God, we're all dead. Anyway, I'm just looking at the time. Is that I think this is that if you are a Catholic or, a Protestant or a Jew or a Muslim or whatever you are, that you obviously, and if you're really, really heavy into that, our brains are amazing. So our brains are used to that. You're going to mass, used to that, going to mass, used to that, diddle. And when you die, your brain will absolutely go there because it knows and thinks that's where you want to go. Because our brains all look after us, especially in death. It releases all sorts of chemicals and hormones. So you will go there. Your brain will make you think you're going there.
Yeah, I think it's like...
and that's why you'll feel safe.
A vibration or a frequency that is sent out and then, it bounces out, it bounces back in.
But then the nice safe one, Alan Watts again, my favourite guru.
Oh, yes.
Because he goes, when you die, here's one of those lovely voices. When you die, he goes, don't worry. He goes, you'll just be asleep forever and ever and ever, he says. And he says, and before you were born, you were also, it was the same way. He says, you weren't born forever and ever and ever. And you just were born. You didn't know you were born. And he says, so just take the same solace into death. He says, you don't know you're dead. And you'll be asleep forever and ever and ever, the same way before you came here. And it's so lovely.
It's great.
And you know what's so brave about him? He was talking about that and he literally was dying.
Oh,
and nobody
wow.
knew. Anyway, God almighty.
Right,
Jesus,
one last question.
Brilliant.
One last question. Right, what's the one thing you do every day that helps you live wild and free, Jason Byrne?
I'm trying not to think of cliches like, my children. I suppose it's my mindset. I have to get up every morning, sit at the edge of the bed and go, today is just today. Let's just get that done. Because we'll be here all day if I have to go through all the different things that I have to deal with every day. I have emotional baggage, divorce, gigs, work, books, everything, children, driving, school. So I just sit at the edge of the bed and I reset my brain every morning. And I just go, today, because so today was just me driving the kids to school, going over to the accountant, having the podcast with you, go into town, get the haircut, What else? There's one more thing in town. Get the OMD tickets.
Mm-hmm.
Head back. Get Daniel. Do the thing. That's all. Don't worry about
Perfect.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
I don't need to. I'm grand. Let's just do today.
Jason
Bye.
Byrne, you are a beautiful man. Thank you so much.
Thank
you so much for being on the podcast. I really, really enjoyed the conversation. I always do.
And thank you for dusting off my COVID mic. You helped me with that. But I didn't see in the end of the wardrobe with the socks and the jocks. Brilliant. Smell of feet off the top of it.
Thank you for being here. We hope you enjoyed listening as much as we enjoyed making these episodes. Thank you, as always, to our amazing guests. A special thank you to Aoife McNamara, my co-producer extraordinaire from Imagine Media. Please like, share, subscribe, and rate us. It all really helps. And remember, this content is for education and entertainment purposes. In short, it's not gospel. I always say, take what resonates with you and leave the rest. Always question everything and do your own research.